that joins the midpoint. Forrest, stop talking. Of two sides of the triangle. Okay, so look at this triangle up top here. You have a midpoint right here. That's what this is signifying, right? The little hash marks tell us that it's a midpoint. It's in the middle, okay? Then you move over to the other side, and this point right here is also a midpoint because they're telling us that those two segments are congruent. So if I have those two midpoints and I make a segment that connects those two midpoints, that is called a mid-segment, okay? So how many mid-segments do you see in this triangle? There's three, right? This would be a mid-segment, and this would be a mid-segment. So you have three mid-segments. It's basically find the midpoints, draw the segment in, you get a mid-segment, okay? But then there's two things that happen with these mid-segments every single time, okay? The first of which, do you have your glasses? The first one is, it is going to be parallel to the third side. Okay, so what we have here is AB is going to be parallel to YZ. Okay, a mid-segment is always parallel to the side kind of across from it. Okay, that means XZ is going to be parallel to AC. Okay, so AC is parallel to XZ.
Oh, I get this. So
and
BC would be parallel to XY.
Exactly. AB is parallel to YZ, right? And then the last one, BC, is parallel to XY.
I haven't understood math in so long.
That was it? That was the click right there?
Yeah, no, like this new chapter might be my chapter.
Yeah.
It goes down.
See, I love shapes. This is so
You like this? Okay, well, that's part of it, right? Here's the other part. No, this part is easy too. The second property that goes along with mid-segments is its length. This is not if, this should be is. Its length is half the length of the third side. Okay? Here's what that means. If this side right here, let's say it's 10 units long. Okay, then its mid-segment is half that length, which would be what? 5. What segment is 5? AB would be 5. Okay, so if we come over here and I tell you that this segment is 4, then what is this one? 8. Okay, so yes, one is half of the other. That doesn't mean you always cut it in half. It means if they give you the shorter one, you double it. If they give you the longer one, you cut it in half. Okay, so let's say the yellow segment was, what's going to make sense here? We'll call this 12. That doesn't look like 12. Pretend it's drawn to scale, okay? Then this would be 6. Okay? So the longer one gets cut in half. The shorter one gets doubled.
Wait, so what in the world would this be? Because
AB
AB
is 5 because I told you this one was 10.
Oh. Okay.
Right?
So sometimes it can be on top of it. Across from it. Guys.
I mean, it's across from, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
one that would be parallel to it.
Why
Okay.
do you guys keep putting me?
So look at this. Shh, zip it. This one says JK is 10. DE is 6.5. And EL
My calculator.
is 3.7. Okay, so they just gave us enough information to be able to find every single segment in this problem. The first one they ask us for is KD. Kevin Durant.
Who? Kevin Durant.
Wait, he doesn't give us all the numbers.
He's a basketball player.
That's crazy.
It's gotta be a.
Is that an old person?
You're lost in the sauce.
Yeah, he's actually lost.
Not
I have a
3.7.
question, Mr. Hoover.
Huh.
Who's Kevin Durant?
He's a basketball player. A professional basketball. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying when I hear KD, that's what I think of. Kevin Durant.
Kill-death ratio.
Yeah, I don't play video games like that.
I think of the fact that I need to kill someone.
It's problematic.
It could be myself.
Okay, you're done talking. So look at KD. Okay, KD is this piece right here.
3.7.
No, look at your markings. Okay, what do these markings mean? What do these mean?
Equal.
They're equal. Okay, so they told us that JK was 10. And they told us that D is a midpoint because these are marked equal. So if the whole thing is 10
5.
and they're equal, it's 5 and 5, right? So KD is 5, DJ is 5. So KD and DJ are both 5. Okay. What would DF be? So DF is right here. Knock it off. Oh my word. Stop.
What is going on today?
Seriously. Happy Monday to all of you. Now look at this, okay? They told us that this segment, EL, was 3.7. These are marked congruent, so that means this is also 3.7. Now, you can think of this as that whole segment then is 7.4, right? But that means that DF is what? 3.7, right? So here's the thing. Do you see this? If we're looking at each individual piece, the two smaller ones are equal to the one across from it, right? 3.7, 3.7, and 3.7. Okay? So DF is 3.7. And what did we say JL was?
7.4.
7.4. Add those 3.7s together, you get 7.4. Okay, last two then. We want to know KF and FL. They are both 6.5. Because this one is 6.5, if we double it, the whole thing is 13, right? But it's going to cut that in half. Truett, stop talking. So 13 cut in half would be 6.5 and 6.5. Okay? So one segment is half the other every time on those. Okay, so let's think about this. Now they're just going to give you one mid-segment. So this is a midpoint. This is a midpoint, meaning this is a mid-segment. Okay? That 54 somehow relates to the side that it's parallel to this side, which is 3N. What's their relationship? Are they equal? Are 54 and 3N equal to each other?
Yes.
Look at the picture.
It's double, right?
Which one's double?
54.
3N is double whatever the 54 is, right? So if we doubled this, then it would equal the 3N, right? What's your other option? What could you have done instead of doubling 54?
Brute force.
No. Cut the 3N in half, right? So you can either cut the longer one in half or you can double the shorter one. You cannot cut the shorter one in half and you cannot double the longer one. It won't work, right? So here's where I need you to be logical, reasonable people, because I know you can be. You're just going to choose not to be because you're going to rush. Don't rush. The shorter segment would have to get doubled to make it equal the longer one, right? So take that 54, double it, and that should equal the longer segment, right? Double the 54, it should equal the 3N. So 108 equals 3N, divide by 3, and is what? 36? Okay, so check that. If I plug 36 in here, 3 times 36 is 108. 108 is double. Stop talking. Close your mouths and just listen. Thank you. So this is 108. This is 54. That makes sense, right? Because 54 is half of 108. Okay? Look at this letter B. What would you double? The n minus 2 or the 46?
The n minus 2.
The n minus 2, okay? What if I wanted to cut something in half instead?
The 26.
The 46. I don't care which one you do. Which one would you prefer?
Cut the 46.
Cut the 46. That's what I would do just because it's less work. So you would say n minus 9 equals half of 46. So n minus 9 equals 23, and then you would add the 9. So n is 32. Okay, and again, if you check that, if I plug a 32 in here, 32 minus 9 is 23, and 23 is half of 46. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Look at this one. We want to find x. What does x relate to in this picture?
3ft.
The 3.
So it's 1.5.
So it's half of that 3, right? The 3 is the longer one, so x is the shorter, which means we want to cut it in half. So x is going to be half of 3, which is 1.5 feet. Okay, so this segment would be 1.5 feet. Okay. Okay, last 3. We're not going to do this one.
They made it so complicated.
Yeah, they try to just give a lot of extra information. Okay, letter A here. We're doing the same thing. You have a midpoint and a midpoint, which makes this a mid-segment. How can you set this up?
2n minus 16 equals 2.5. Is that what you do? Or?
Okay, now think about that. You were cutting this one in half. So you're saying this segment would have to equal this.
Oh, so it'd just be 2n minus 16 equals 5?
Not 5,
Oh, 10.
equals 10, right? So you're either doubling the shorter one or you're cutting in half the longer one. I think this is easier to double the shorter one. So this 5 is going to become a 10. So 2n minus 16 equals 2 times 5. So 2n minus 16 equals 10. Add that 16. So 2n equals 26. And then divide by 2. So n is 13. That makes sense? Now, if you plugged it back in, 2 times 13 is 26. 26 minus 16 is 10. So we're saying this segment is 10 when this segment is 5. Does that make sense? Yeah, the one is half of the other. Okay, we're going to do B together, and then I'm going to have you try C on your own. Can't find a good, there we go. Okay, look at this one. What would you double?
I would cut 86 and 130.
Okay, but if you were going to double, which one would you have to double? The 4n plus 3. So you're either doubling the shorter one or you're cutting the bigger one in half. Please don't do both of those things, okay? You will not get the answer if you do both. You have to pick one or the other. I think it's easiest to cut this one in half. So 4n plus 3 equals half of 86, right? That means 4n plus 3 equals 43. Take away the 3. So 4n equals 40. And then divide by 4. So n is 10.
10 n's.
Okay, if we plug that back in, 4 times 10 is 40 plus 3 is 43. 43 is half of 86, so it checks out. Okay. Okay, even my non-iPadder, get a piece of paper or something, work this one out. See what you get. Are you going to double the one? Are you going to cut in half the one?
Yeah, I'm a non.
What would you do? solve that and see what you get.
Dean?
N plus
6n does not
9
equal 7.
equals 16.
16
16
n.
I'm a little lost
Right?
myself right now.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is your shorter one, right? So we should double it. So 6n plus 9 equals 2 of that 8n. So that means 6n plus 9 equals 16n. How do you solve that?
You
Minus
subtract
nine. Minus
9
nine.
from.
No.
Oh, wait, that's like algebra type stuff.
No, that's what we're doing. We're doing algebra, but you're doing the algebra wrong.
Subtract 6n from both
The
sides.
6n, right?
There we go.
I would know.
So 9 equals 10n. What do you do next?
I didn't know.
Wait.
Divide by
You
10,
taught me nothing. I like this is the
right?
reason
So
I'm
n equals, you may either write it as 9/10 like that, or if you like 0.9 instead of 9/10, that's
No, I
fine
would
too.
never go math.
But if you just leave it as 9, that one is hard.
Lord.
I mean, it's not hard. You know the process. It's just you need to know to stop.
Do you know what I miss?
Um,
In elementary school when the puppet lady would come to town?
Oh my